A warm welcome and thank you for joining us on today's live broadcast, and happy Workers' Day to all the workers far and wide in Nigeria. You people are very much appreciated, and it is with great joy that I welcome you to this live broadcast. Thank you for joining us. Well, we have issues that has arose from the minimum wage drama. We recall that over the past couple of months, the federal government set up a committee to actually overlook into the new minimum wage, right? And they've been unable to come up with any major news or any major conclusion concerning what the new minimum wage will be, seeing that the last one expired since April 18th, 2023. Well, the federal government says although the tripartite committee on national minimum wage is yet to conclude its negotiation, workers will not lose anything as the new minimum wage will take effect from today, being May 1st, 2024. The Minister of State for Labour in Kiruka, Onyejocha, stated this on Wednesday while addressing Nigerian workers at the May Day celebration in Abuja. She said it is regrettable that the new national minimum wage is not ready before today, but that a wide consultation is ongoing to ensure that the document is out together as soon as possible. Right, and so the National Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress have at various times called on the administration of Chief Bola Tinubu to hasten the upward review of wage awards. Of late, the organized labor demanded 615,000 as the new minimum wage for workers to cope with the many economic realities and high cost of living in Nigeria. The labor union said that the current minimum wage of 30,000 can no longer cater to the well-being of an average Nigerian worker, lamenting that not all governors are even paying the current wage award, which expired in April, 5 years after the Minimum Wage Act of 2019 was signed. Right, and so this act is to be reviewed every 5 years to meet up with the contemporary economic demands of workers. Meanwhile, President Tinubu has lauded the contributions of Nigerian workers to the growth of the country. He gave this commendation in his address to the workers presented by his vice in the person of President Kashim Shettima at the event to mark the 2024 Workers' Day in Abuja. And so particularly we've heard of them. He said the federal government is open to receive recommendations of the committee and the new national minimum wage. And I think it's really interesting because serious conversations about this new minimum wage has been going on since January. They had different billions of naira earmarks. I think it was 15 billion exactly for the new committee to sit down and convene to discuss the new situation as to what will be the new minimum wage. And since then, we've not particularly heard from them. But the NLC is actually refuting the claims because the federal government came out to award, a 35% increase in the new minimum wage, because that's what the deliberation is going like currently. But the person of Joe Ajero, who happens to be the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, said the last minimum wage of 30,000 expired in April 18, and we should be in the regime of a new minimum wage as of today. And he said that discussions were supposed to have been concluded. The federal government, through the National Assembly, legislated on it, but we saw that the discussion entered voicemail because the federal government refused to reconvene the meeting that was adjourned. This is quoting directly from him. He said, "I think the announcement now appears mischievous because there's no wage increase that the government is announcing. For them to announce it now, it is an issue that we're worried about at the NLC and even at the TUC, which happens to be the Trade Union Congress." Earlier in January, the federal government inaugurated a 37-man tripartite committee on national minimum wage with a mandate to recommend a new national minimum wage for the country. But the recommendations of the committee have not been implemented by the government. He said the current minimum wage of 30,000 can no longer cater to the well-being of the average Nigerian worker, lamenting that not only are the governors not paying the current minimum wage, which expired in April, that he said that the further organized labor has agreed on 615,000 as the living wage for civil servants. He said, and I quote, "Living wage is such that we will at least keep you alive. It is not a wage that will make you poor and poorer. It is not a wage that will make you malnourished from, this serving, that will make you borrow to go to work particularly. And so it is not a wage that will lead you to the hospital every day because of malnutrition." And so for him, the right minimum wage that Nigerian workers are entitled to is 615,000. We don't know how plausible that is because, from Nigeria, we can see going from 30,000 to 615,000 is a big leap, but at the same time, so is the inflation in the country, because it has taken a very big leap too. And so the government, Joe Ajero and the NLC, they're not actually very, far from the truth, because 615,000 is something that is really not so much money, considering the current economic situation that we found ourselves in. But in all of this drama, we need the committee that has been set out to come up with this minimum wage to hasten up the process, because they need to come out and actively say what it is that their findings are, because all this talk about 35% increase and 25% increase is really not nipping the situation in the bud. Nigerian workers need to know their fate, what it is that they are going to be earning currently, and they should also take into cognizance the fact that the realities that we live in currently are harsher and more tedious, particularly. But moving on, let's take a tweet from His Excellency Peter Obi felicitating wheat workers all over Nigeria as they mark the Workers' Day 2024. He took to his X handle to actually say stuff and actually felicitate with them. He said, "My fellow Nigerian workers, as we come together to celebrate Workers' Day, I am filled with an overwhelming sense of pride and admiration for each and every one of you who continue to stand tall and steadfast in your commitments to building our great nation, even in the face of adversity and challenges. Today, as we honor the hard work, dedication, and resilience of workers across the country and beyond, I'm reminded of the incredible strength and spirit that define us as a people. Despite the countless obstacles and hurdles that may stand in our way, you, the backbone of our society, remains unwavering in your resolve to contribute to the growth and development of our beloved nation. From the bustling streets of Lagos to the serene villages of the north, from the bustling markets of Onitsha to the bustling ports in Port Harcourt, your labor forms the foundation upon which our nation stands. Whether you're toiling in the fields under the scorching sun or laboring in factories amidst the hum of machinery, your efforts are the lifeblood of our economy and the driving force behind our progress. But beyond this tangible contribution you daily make to our nation's development, it is in your resolve to contribute to this that we have. Basically, he went on and on considering the length of this tweet, so I'd advise that we go to our X handle, his X handle, to actually take the remaining parts of this tweet where he talked about their patriotism, resilience, and determination, and even in the face of economic hardship and political uncertainties. And so we know His Excellency Peter Obi, if you want the totality of the tweet, it is going to be on his X handle, and so you can go there and particularly listen or take a read to exactly what he said. But kudos to His Excellency Peter Obi, and I join my voice to what exactly he's saying. I'm happy Workers' Day, particularly to the Nigerian workforce, because I understand that being a worker generally is hard every part of the world, but in Nigeria, being a Nigerian, it is 10 times harder in my opinion, because the realities we face, we don't have insurance policies, we don't have good health care for this staff. It's a lot of things that is wrong with the Nigerian labor sphere, right, a labor ecosystem. And so being a laborer or a worker for government in this country, from the salaries that they are owed, the pensions and all of that, it is particularly tumultuous to be a worker in Nigeria. And so we understand why it is necessary for us to put our voices together to celebrate workers, because they are the lifeblood of the Nigerian economy. So once again, happy Workers' Day, and we celebrate you. Well, moving on, the Nigerian passport has landed in the top 10 worst travel documents globally, according to the Visa Guide's World Passport Index. And it's particularly sad because Nigeria is a country that needs foreign investors, right? Foreign investments. And so what does that do for us, particularly if we are unable to present a useful front to the people who want to come to Nigeria on investment purposes? We saw the drama that unfolded yesterday after Baron Nanuga deleted his tweets concerning the alleged $600 million investments that that is the Danish shipping company, planned to actually invest in Nigeria and all of that. But the truth of the matter is that if our passport is ranking among the top 10 worst travel documents in the world, it is particularly sad, because Nigeria used to be, seen as the giant of Africa. And if the giant of Africa does not have any passport, or rather their passport doesn't have any value, then what does that do? The other day, we covered the story about the woman who was left stranded in Istanbul airports by Emirates Airline just because she was Nigerian with no explanation. And with news like this, we can understand why it is that these things happen, because it is sitting at the 10th spot among 199 countries, and the Nigerian passport is deemed as one of the least powerful for international travel. This ranking, based on the destination significance score, DSS, evaluates passports on factors like entry policies, gross domestic product, and human development. The lower a passport's DSS, the weaker its global standing. And countries sharing this ranking with Nigeria include North Korea, Iraqi, Libya, Sudan, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Syria, Somalia, and the list goes on. But it is really interesting because, in contrast, the passports from Singapore, Italy, Spain, France, and Germany rank among the strongest globally. Nigeria's passport fell behind South Africa, with the latter holders enjoying visa-free access to 108 nations. Surprisingly, Nigeria ranked lower than countries like Burundi, Liberia, South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Congo-Brazzaville, reflecting a loss of credibility on the international stage. Even our neighboring countries like Ghana, Benin Republic, Togo, and Niger Republic all outperformed Nigeria in the passport rankings. And I think it is really, really sad, because there was a time we were actually talking about Ghana must go and stuff like that. But these people have left us, and they're still topping us in global rankings like this. Nigeria is not safe. Nigeria is not a friendly economy for investors, because we've seen how they treat their investors. We need this this current government to go back to the drawing board, because all I can see, or all every well-meaning Nigeria can see, besides all propaganda and lies they try to portray, is that there's a decline in the status of the average Nigerian, not just internationally, but even amongst ourselves. We just have, it's getting excruciatingly worse for Nigerians, even in the local and international stage. Because how do we explain that our green passports, right, something that should be of pride, that everybody should be proud to be Nigerian, has little to no value in the travel market or in the international travel market? Little wonder why they treat Nigerians the way they do when they are traveling. And so this decline in passport strength is not new. Last year, Nigeria stood at 180 among 199 nations, and this downward trend has persisted over the years. The ranking underscores the challenges Nigerian passport holders face when traveling abroad, and highlights the need for improvements in the international relations and policies to enhance passport strength. And so this is particularly really, really sad, because we cannot talk about this decline in our passports use and value without talking about the anti-people policies of this current administration, and even the last one, basically the APC-led administration. It is particularly sad. It is demeaning, because as giants of Africa, one would expect that the least we can do is garner some level of, would I say, regional clout or regional value or worth. But to see that, passports, our currency is plunging down the drain daily, and they're still struggling to even put it on a stable basis, and here we go with our passport. So it is really particularly sad, and I hope the Nigerian government, the current government, the Tinubu-led government, actually goes back to see what they can do, because if they are interested in actually inviting foreign investors to Nigeria, we have to put up a very good image, not just for fake, not just about propaganda, to make sure the policies and the politics that we play here reflects a common interest, which is the good of the Nigerian people. Well, that is as much as I can take on this particular live broadcast. Thank you for joining us, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And particularly before I leave the studio, it is necessary that I mention the Obidient Family Cooperative. It is a gospel that we have been preaching over the last couple of months, and there has been serious turnout. This is the grassroots mobilization we're talking about against our options, redefining our options in 2027. And so the link to join the WhatsApp group will be in the description of this particular video. Do well to follow the link, join the platform, have conversations, and just be a part of this epoch-making event in the history of Nigeria, because the plan is to spread this cooperative throughout the over 700 local governments in Nigeria and to mobilize ourselves, the grassroots structure, against the 2027 election, and also particularly to move from consumption to production like His Excellency P2B has always preached. Don't forget to drop a thumbs up in this video, like, subscribe, and share this video to your loved ones and even to the enemies too, because that's the only way you can amplify our voice and help this platform to go. Till I come your way next time, bye for now.